Grand evening, everyone. It is Sunday, April 12th, 2026. It is 2200 hours and 30 minutes Central Daylight Time here in the United States, Texas more specifically. And we have more new developments as usual these days. It's constant news coming out. It's picking up in pace as the peace talks have failed in Islamabad. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, went over there, talked to the Iranian officials that went there, a delegation of some sort, and they did not come to an agreement, and the peace talks, or whatever agreement it was going to be, failed. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, flew all the way to Pakistan. Islamabad is where it was. And they had some talks, and there was no agreement. The peace talks, whatever diplomacy they were trying to do, failed. That's happened time and again with when it comes to Iran. This is initially a live stream recording, as we are on a live stream right now as I'm saying this, and it is then posted afterwards to my YouTube channel, the live section, and to my X here that we are looking at. One moment, just gotta check something. The audio. Okay. Yeah, that was the last video I did before this, about a day ago. And we will start with the news here. As I was just saying, it was from Polymarket reporting it shortly afterwards. J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States. This was breaking news then. J.D. Vance announces Iran has, he says, chosen not to accept our terms. And he will return to the U.S. without a deal. I'm sure he's here right about now. It's a very long way that he flew all the way out there just to have no deal, no peace deal, no diplomatic deal happen there. It was denied. They said no. Once again, it's been time and again. We've had several potential deals that could have happened with them, and they've said no, no, no. They are solid on their stance when it comes to nuclear enrichment and now more openly building nuclear weapons and getting all of that together. They're very solid on their stance as for that. And keeping the Strait of Hormuz, they think it's entitled to them, that they control it and no other country over there. They even wanted to put a toll on it to open it to some countries to go through, which is really crazy as well. So the US president, he will very likely do what he was saying before. He's actually said this. I've heard a phone conversation. He intends to attack their desalination plants. It's a possibility. That's where they get their water from, and their power grid, take it out entirely, and like he really confirmed, taking out their bridges and other critical infrastructure. So those are likely the next things, on top of somehow securing the Strait of Hormuz and those islands, and I'm sure the coastline of Iran over there. That's what's likely after he does those massive hits on Iran, which he gave it so much time because it is a war crime in a way, targeting a country's water supply and taking out their power grid. Millions of Iranians will die from all of that happening. Though it seriously weakens Iran overall, especially the military, when they have likely no water, very little, and no power grid. They'll be much easier to fight after he does all of that. It's just terrible that so many civilians get caught up and become casualties of war. So yes, that's like I said there, as expected. Most civilized nations, it's as expected. A civilized nation can't make deals or peace with the terrorist regime. So the total kinetic phase of World War III, Week 7, continues, and it is massively intensifying right now. Continuing on with the news here. Shortly, very shortly after those talks were over, Pakistan deployed about 13,000 troops and fighter jets to Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, I've learned more recently, has quite close relations with Saudi Arabia and connections with them, which the U.S. it's the same thing to Saudi Arabia. So that's a good thing that Pakistan is really siding with, especially Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan's ready to defend itself from Iran. Pakistan seems to be getting directly involved in the war as they've deployed all of those troops, a lot of them, over 13,000, to Saudi Arabia. We will see exactly what Pakistan and other countries do further now. We can't forget that the rest of NATO, or a large part of it, will also be going to help with the Strait of Hormuz itself. So the rest of NATO, as I mentioned the last time, is getting further directly involved in the war. And this here from Nostra, he put it together recently. So Europe, I think it was about yesterday, 2 days ago, they received their last tanker that was from the Middle East. So now on Wednesday over here, the last tanker from the Middle East arrives. The last oil tanker. We're talking about oil tankers. He said oil shortages hit the U.S. on Wednesday as part of the last. Wait. Oil shortages hit the U.S. on Wednesday as the last tanker from the Middle East arrives. So, the last tanker's about to arrive. They carry a whole lot of oil. The price of oil is skyrocketing. It is almost $105 per barrel right now. It's gone up about $8, over $8 since that small, very short ceasefire happened, if that's even what it was. Then, as I was saying, this came out. There was President Trump on the phone, I've heard earlier from another source I have. This is also from the leading report. President Trump is contemplating destroying Iranian desalination plants, destroying their water supply. So back to that, that's a war crime massively in itself. And that's what President Trump intends to do. and take out Iran's entire power grid, which will cause millions of Iranians to die. And those who do survive, many of them it'll be a mass exodus out of Iran to other countries for refuge and survival and continuing their lives in safer and more comfortable conditions. That is going to be absolutely historic after those strikes happen. It will cause a massive problem globally, one of the largest humanitarian crises in history, modern history. So we have all of that happening. Iran very much could have nuclear weapons. They indirectly have been saying that they do. They do have doomsday weapons, as they've said. The secret weapon more recently said that they have. So they will likely use that very soon. They could use it at any time. They could use it moments after I'm even done speaking here tonight, preemptively. So we all need to prepare as things are far intensifying much more. And China will likely get further involved when this naval blockade President Trump is ordering to happen with when it comes to Iran. He's ordered the US Navy to set up a naval blockade around Iran. So that'll stop their oil shipments from flowing by water and other shipments that go into the country. So he's setting up and going to do things that cause massive attrition to Iran. Not just the military, it's just Iran entirely. So I expect the Chinese could even get further involved and maybe even the Russians. Though especially the Chinese, as they heavily rely on resources and oil from Iran, and those big shipments are not going to go by water because the US Navy is going to have that naval blockade set up around Iran. So keep on preparing. Things are much more intensifying. The price of oil is skyrocketing right now. Um, the price of gold, I'm sure it's going up slowly more. And then we've had on the one of the primary nuclear war frequencies, there was an over-the-horizon radar, and there have been quite a bit recently. There's been more of those. Those are always very concerning. Those are literally meant to detect missiles, potential missiles incoming. That's what they're for. They're not really ever like tested. They're just used when it's expected, when there's times that are expected for missiles to be incoming somewhere. They mainly detect ICBMs, though they could detect, I'm sure, other kinds of missiles. It's very advanced, the over the horizon system. And there have been EAMs picking up a little more recently, though the over the horizon and other data recently has been most concerning. So please keep on preparing, like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to the channel, please. Prepare physically, mentally, and spiritually, as it is absolutely necessary these days. Do not be in a state of fear, stay grounded, and prepare in those ways I have just said. I always recommend physical assets as well, such as precious metals and freeze-dried foods and storable foods and even ammunition. Okay, that will do it for now. Love, light, and blessings to you all. I will be back very soon with further news and talking about all of what happens next coming up. Let's see, that will be on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday, right around midnight. Thank you all for watching. And once again, love, light, and blessings to you all.